Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to another video here on the channel. Now today, we're going to be talking about something a little less known about. We're going to be talking about the entire Zero Point story so far. Now, we are going to be going all the way back to 22nd of February 2018, because this storyline, it started back in Chapter 1, Season 3, with that meteor. In that meteor, we had the visitor, the first of the 7. We'd already seen one before we even heard mention the 7. Now, after that meteor, the visitor then goes on trying to make his rocket to get back home in Season 4. So, back in by Season 4, we got the rocket launch, we then get the rift. From that rift in Season 5, we get Kevin the Cube. We then get the Purple Lake, we get those runes around the map. Now, the runes, that then leads into Season 6, where we had like a darkness theme. We had these runes that were quite symbolic of evil almost, where the evil influence and the Cube Island was going round. There's evil runic skins as well. But the key thing I want to focus on in Season 6 is when Kevin was dying above the lake. The island broke apart and Kevin was just spinning slowly. As he did, he was dropping pods down into Lazy Lake. Could that potentially have been the Zero Point in a more refined form? Potentially yes, because they seem to conjugate down together into the underside of the lake where the Zero Point ended up being. So could those pods have actually come together to make the Zero Point? Potentially yes. Now also, with that event, there's the butterfly event. What does the butterfly effect show us? It shows us the whole cause and effect, the chain reaction, how everything leads to something else. A small thing leads to the big change. And that's exactly what they did with this storyline. We didn't actually see anything to do with the storyline, the 0 Point storyline in Season 7. Season 8, we got the Involting event with the returning to the Nexus. Wasn't that significant, but we did actually see the 0 Point there behind Singularity's desk, where there was the mask, and behind that was the massive orb, which we didn't know at the time, but we now know as the 0 Point. Season 9 was significant as the Cassus vs Doggers final showdown event showed off the 0 Point for the first time. Then Season X, now this is obviously quite a significant season. In Season X, the 0 Point was actually breaking apart. That was leading to loads of temporal anachronisms. That we started getting this talk of a time loop that we were all trapped within. And because of that, we then learn of Paradigm and the Scientist, 2 more members of this elusive 7 who were working to break a loop. We get loads of rockets then, and that inevitably leads to the meteor and then the rocket smashing the 0 Point, resetting a time loop with the black hole. I'm going to switch tabs for a second. Then we don't see anything really in Chapter 2, Season 1. We just got a bit of a new world, just settling in, dipping our toes into the new story. But then Chapter 2, Season 2, we start getting the sight of John Jones in his office. We finally learn of the imagined order, the I.O. Obviously, at the time, we didn't know they called that. We just called them the other agency or the real world. And John Jones seemed surprised that the Looper could see him. He actually said, "Can you see me?" And that led to the theories going around of a simulation. What I'm going to throw out there is it just a simulation, or is this some form of a prison where they are trapping individuals inside a time loop? Or perhaps there's something even more sinister than that. But then, didn't get anything really for Season 3 and 4. 4, we did get Galactus feeding on the 0 Point But that then leads more into Season 5. Now, Season 5 and 6 is where the majority of the Zero Point storyline starts making sense. It's where it comes together. So, at the start, we have John Jones coming through to cover up the Zero Point for the Galactus trying to consume it. He's been advised by his organisation to employ help, so he gets like some Xenomorph. I can't even remember half of them now, but all those crossovers last season, all to cover up the Zero Point. He was ordered at the time by his superior. He was ordered by his superior in the Imagined Order to not raise attention and not attract the Seven. But by the end of the season, the Zero Point was destabilising, and Jones was blaming the Imagined Order for not caring enough to fix it, which led into the Zero Crisis finale, where he goes against a direct order from the Doctor Slow, and he actually calls in a member of the Seven, and not just any member. He brings in the leader of the Seven, the Foundation. Now, this is the 4th member we have seen. There's still 3 more out there that we still don't know. We still haven't met. So, from there, they promise to help each other. The Foundation's going to help fix the Zero Point, because obviously it needs to be fixed. And in return, Jones promises to help the Foundation to reach Geno and the sisters. I'll get on to that in a second. After that, they make the Zero Point bloom with reality rays, but it destabilizes, so the Foundation has to seal himself inside, which traps everyone in the loop and making the world go primal. Now, we're going to go on to those questions that I brought up a minute ago of what is Geno? Now, is it a place or is it an organisation? Like, we're not quite certain. It could be a place where the Imagined Order have separated part of the Seven, perhaps. And who are the sisters? Now, potentially the sisters could make up the other 3 members of the Seven. If so, they could be like the 3 Fates in the Disney film Hercules. So, that could be quite an interesting way for them to go. But now, we've got the final point that I brought up in yesterday's video of the Spire quests. Raz has turned towards darkness, so Spire corrupts those who get too close to and bends them towards darkness. Has anyone seen Raz recently? Now, we know that this week you could get yourself the Glyph Master variant of Raz. So without further ado, me and Liam are going to jump in and try and get that. So you have to have completed all previous Spire quests to get on to this week's ones. But stage 4, the final one, for 90,000 XP and the Glyph Master Raz, you've got to defeat Glyph Master Raz and collect the Spire artifact. But the message with it is the most important part. Raz is attracting attention we don't need. Get the Spire artifact away from him. So, a Spire artifact, it's made Raz go evil, and I tell you now, he's hard to kill. So we used to have the Spire Assassin at the Spire itself. We had her with the Mythic Primal Shotgun. Then that became the Mythic Recycler. Now she's gone completely, and we now have the Glyph Master Raz. And he has not just an explosive bow, but he also has this lovely little ability where he starts levitating, he spins, and, well, then zaps you with a giant purple laser thing. It hurts a lot. So me and Liam, we're going to go straight down, and we're actually going to go and see if we can defeat Glyph Master Raz once and for all. Now, another word of warning I might want to mention to you guys about him is the fact that he does have 1,000 shield, and I do believe 500 health as well, so 1,500 damage you're going to have to deal to him. To put that into perspective, if you have a gold scar, you're going to need at least 2 clips to kill him. And that's assuming that you hit your shots. Which is why I said at least, because chances are you're going to miss a few shots. You're going to need a 3rd clip. So one thing you'll notice when you're here as well is some very sinister music. That is to show that Raz is in the area and he is scary to try and fight, especially alone. So if you're going to go for him, I suggest that you go into a friend's lobby and you go into a duo or squad, trios or squads together, because the more firepower you have, the easier the fight will be. If you don't have that firepower, do not expect to survive. So here he is with that spin ability. Ouch. So you just saw the spin ability there with that little laser of his. Really hurts. Really, really hurts. But me and Liam will go and kill him in a second once we can be certain that we are not likely to be attacked again by normal people. Right, Raz is coming up the stairs towards you, Liam. Ouch. 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 His shield broke now, Liam. Ouch. There is an enemy here, though. And that enemy had to go and finish me off, didn't he? Hey, Liam, if you come reboot me first. I thought he was going to take full damage then. Yeah. So, all in all, Raz, he is very strong. And does that show the true power of the 0 point? Because clearly it's no longer just affecting the locations within the loop, but it's affecting the people within as well. And that's when things like this become intense. They become scary. Like, this is quite a dark thing. It's quite powerful, quite evil. And so because of that, the question is how do we stop it? Or is it going to taint someone else as well? Like, we have yet to see quite a bit of this story. Now, I'm going to try and make my way slowly back up to where those guns were. Because I want some of my guns back. Especially if we're going to try and finish off Raz. This is hard. Yeah, I know he is. Right, he's about 400 HP. Ouch, he's doing that laser beam ability. The fact that that ignores shields is quite obnoxious. There we go. Raz's explosive bow and the Spire artifact. Oh my word, 90,000 XP right there. I tell you now. Do you want to know how much damage that this bow deals? Here. 118. That's a body shot as well. A headshot is an instant kill. Well, a headshot's pretty much an instant kill anyway, but That's ludicrous. Wow. You would not want to be the person going up against this bow. Kinda glad we got it. All in all, from this week's Spy Quest, 121,000 XP. I think in total from the whole of the Spy Quest, there's something like 500,000 XP. Which, that's just huge. It's not to be underestimated, a figure like that. So, it's always so silent all of a sudden, isn't it? I guess this is what happens when you clean out one of the biggest areas on the map. I'm surprised so many people are still coming here, seeing as Raz is really OP. I thought this would put people off, it would deter them, but it doesn't seem to have done anything of the sort. If anything, it seems to have incited a little bit more activity here. I can hear people driving. He also has an explosive bow. Wow. Just goes to show, even with a mythic bow, you're not invincible. So, if we return to Lobby Liam, yeah, well that shows how hard he is to kill. He really is a powerful NPC. Yeah, like, taking him down solo is going to be a very, very hard feat to accomplish. But once you have Glyph Master variant of Raz, and also Spinner takes all emoticon for getting 8 points in tonight's Neymar Jr. tournament. Looks very intense. I really like that. So as you can see, you've got normal version, which is your Glyph Acolyte. The darkened evil version, here's the Glyph Master. And you've got your Chromium, your Runic, and your Golden. With that in mind, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it informative, enjoyable and fun to watch. And I'll see you all in the next one, where hopefully we might have even more story to talk about.